Have you read Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis? If not, you need to. It's amazing. In that book, she says that the number one thing she gets asked about is friendships. She said that friendships and relationships with others are the thing that women are craving the most. So, if this is true for you too, let's get into this list and talk about how to make some friends. Let's make some friends, y'all.
Here we go.
Hey guys, how was your weekend? What did you do? Tell me all about it. Tell me what you ate. We tried a new restaurant, not new, but new to us, called Smithy. So yum. I'm not normally one for like Southern style food. Like I usually love like hamburgers and sweet potato fries, pretty much my jam. But they have this fried chicken sandwich. It's on like a biscuit. And I had seen it on Instagram and I was like, oh, need that. We also had froyo, obviously. So last week's vlog was like a little bit heavy for me, maybe for you guys too. And so today we're gonna do something just like a little lighthearted and fun, but still informative. Which one? Grammar police, where are you? We're gonna look at 8 ways to get connected, grown-up style. One of the main reasons I started this vlog is because I felt super disconnected and isolated and alone almost all of my adult life, but especially since we moved to Dallas. So I put together a list of the top things that I have found to be the most beneficial in building relationships and getting connected and getting out there and really just leaving the house. The only downside to this stuff is that, I mean, you don't have to, but I would say you should wear a real bra. And I don't like that. Everything should be bra optional, you know? Bra-optional. I'm coining that. No one take it. Okay, let's do this. Also, do you like my new background? It's a white wall. I thought maybe you guys were getting sick of seeing my fake wood wall. So I decided to switch it up and took advantage of this just plain wall. By the way, that wood wall is just like a piece of wallpaper. Not wallpaper, it's paper on a wall. It's not like you don't like put it there. It's like mine's held in by push pins. What are those called? Push pins? And it was like $15 on Amazon. So I'm thinking that I need to order another one with like a different style so that I can switch it up. I'll link it in the description below. So many people ask me about it and it's about time that I link that somewhere so you guys can see it. Number 1, join a church. So if this isn't your thing, sorry, you might want to skip over this one. But if you are someone who attends church or has attended or doesn't object to attending church, I would strongly suggest joining a church if you are new to an area or if you're old to an area. Old to an area? I don't think that's a saying. If you don't have a church, get connected to a church and take your time finding one, y'all. Don't just dive into the first church that you find because you're like, well, we're here and like I already said hi to somebody, so like obviously I'm a member now. Like no, find one that you really vibe with, that like you connect with. And it doesn't need to be perfect. No church is gonna be perfect. But once you do find one, get involved. I'm not saying you need to like pledge your life and like go through the membership classes if you don't want to, but there's so many opportunities to do things. There's probably 5 nights a week I could go and find something there to do, some event to attend, something to volunteer at. There's Bible studies that are individual to specific groups or types of people. And then there's small groups that most churches offer outside of the church. So it's like a group of people that gather at somebody's house or a restaurant. Then there's other fun services and events to attend depending on your walk of life. Like there's one for young adults, there's one for singles, there's one for like parents' night out. So tons and tons of different opportunities to get involved and get out of the house and build friendships and make connections at a church. Number 2, join a gym or yoga studio, somewhere you can take classes. This is an awesome way to meet other women, especially women who probably are interested in the same thing that you're interested in. So if you hate cardio but you love yoga, go to a yoga studio. You're probably going to find a bunch of women who also hate cardio or who prefer yoga. Even if you're not someone who likes to work out regularly at a gym or a studio, maybe you work out at home, or maybe it's just not a daily or even every other day part of your life, even just going a few times a week will get you out of the house. You'll feel good sweating, learning new things, and you'll get to connect with other people and talk to them and hear about like what's going on locally. There's a lot of gyms and studios that partner with other places and events, and they'll share those things. Even if you don't want to pay to go somewhere, most Lululemon studios do a free yoga session on Sunday mornings before they open, which is a great way to get a sweat session, get out locally, shop obviously, just kidding, and meet other people. If you don't know where to go, look on Groupon. There's always tons of Groupons for local fitness studios. Number 3, Instagram is your bestie. So how often are we all scrolling Instagram all the time? I'm like on my Instagram 24/7. Even when I'm trying not to be, like I'll look up after 3 minutes and realize I just like somehow found myself on Instagram. I picked up my phone to use the calculator and been scrolling Instagram for 3 minutes. So since you're already on there, why not take that time to find things locally to do and people to connect with and events to attend? You can do that by 1, searching hashtags. Depending on where you live, there's usually lots of fun local hashtags you can search. So like when I lived in Columbus, As Seen in Columbus was one of them. Because we live in a world where everybody is always sharing, you can learn from them. The other way is you can actually search locations on Instagram if you didn't know that. So you can type in like a specific area that you want to search for. So it's not just Texas. Like I could search Dallas, Texas, or downtown Dallas, Texas, or uptown Dallas. All those little nooks and crannies of different cities, you can see what people are doing and talking about in those areas. While we're on the topic of Instagram, find out who the influencers or bigger bloggers are in your area. It's an awesome way to see what they do or where they eat. Again, because of the location hashtags and because you can actually tag yourself in photos, you can see where people will go regularly. Or if they're posting a photo of them just glamorously walking down the street, but there's this super fun fountain behind it and all these little outdoor food trucks, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is everything I love, where is this? More than likely they've probably tagged it, especially because you're gaining traction on your posts by tagging locations. So if they're good at blogging and being an influencer, which they probably are because you found them, they're probably tagging their locations. A lot of the influencers are partnered with local companies who are, say, like having parties for New Year's Eve or for 4th of July or whatever. So they will post about upcoming stuff that they're going to be attending or doing, and you can see what's going on. Number 5, Facebook events. So some of this sounds redundant. You're like, how am I going to get connected and get out of the house if I'm always on the internet? I know, girl, I feel you. But if you check out Facebook events to see what's going on, then you can leave the house. Instagram's a little bit different than Facebook in the sense that you have to be following somebody or you have to see their post. But Facebook events is literally a list of events in specific areas of your city. You can even search it by miles from a zip code or from a city, and you can search it by genre. So comedy, plays, anything like that. If you just go to the events page, anything that's public will be there. I have found so many things that I never would have thought of searching for on its own, but it just happened to be in the events page, and I was like, that looks awesome. Number 6, we're more than halfway. Volunteer. I know I talked specifically about volunteering a few videos ago, but this couldn't be left off the list because honestly, it's such a great way to connect with people, and not just people, but your tribe. Because when you're volunteering, it's typically something that's close to your heart or that you care about or that directly affects you. So a great example would be if you want to go volunteer at a dog shelter. Okay, I can't because literally we would get a new dog every single night. But for people who can go volunteer, cry with the dog, tell them they love them, and leave, it's a great option. So you know that when you're there, you're also going to be meeting other dog people. You're not going to be there volunteering with someone who's like, literally, I hate all dogs, right? Like, first of all, you need to check yourself anyway if you feel that way. And second of all, you have a new bestie who loves dogs too. And then you guys can like connect and walk your dogs together. Number 7 is the Meetup app. I know, we're using a ton of technology. But it is a great app for finding out what's going on in your area that isn't necessarily an event per se. So it has random things that you might not think of, like book clubs, or there's some volunteer organizations and activities on there. So if you download the app, all you have to do is put in your location and you can see public events that are happening. And a lot of the times it's an ongoing thing. So if you join a group, you join groups on there. If you join a group for a local women's book club, you'll see that they have a meetup once a month. One of my favorite things that we've found through the meetup app is called Tango Tab. It is actually its own app, but their whole mission is to feed hungry families. And one of their events that they do once a month is a food packing party, if you will. It's like everybody brings sandwich supplies or snacks or supplies for packaging, like Ziploc bags, and then we go to this bar downtown, which is actually a super fun bar in itself. Anyway, you all sit like in pods, so maybe they'll group you up with like 10 people, and you make these sandwiches. You take all the supplies like the ham and cheese and mustard and bread, you put them all together, you put them in a bag, you make this little paper lunch sack full of different meals for people, and then you hand them off, and Tango Tab, this organization, is responsible for delivering these meals. So it's a really great way to spend a Saturday morning every month if you want. No, it doesn't have to be. And get connected and meet people. And honestly, what I find at these events is that a ton of them are people who are also trying to get connected. And so it doesn't feel awkward to say, like, I have no friends, I don't know anybody, because everybody's in the same boat. Drum roll, please. Number 8 may be one of the more uncomfortable options, but it has led me to a lot of amazing connections. It is give away your talents and services or collaborate with other people or businesses. So when we first moved to Dallas, I didn't know how I was going to get connected with other people who were looking for photography. And while I don't do it as my primary business, it's still something I want to continue to do. I did a quick Craigslist search to see if anyone was looking for photographers. And honestly, I didn't find anybody. But what I did find was a company who was holding an art show. And I just sent them an email and asked them if they would like a photographer for the event, and told them that I would give away my services just to be there. I was just trying to build my portfolio in the area, and would just love to come out and meet with the artists and be part of the event. And it worked out awesome. And now I've done 2 shows for them, and they actually did end up paying me, which was such a huge extra bonus that I wasn't expecting at all. You can make a difference for other people and help them while also helping yourself and building relationships and building connections. Join something, even if it's super uncomfortable. That's the point, you guys. It forces us to get out of our comfort zones, because the whole reason we're even having this conversation is because we're stuck in our uncomfortable comfort zones, this isolating world of feeling like we're alone, but not taking a lot of steps to move out of it. And I know it sucks. I don't want to do it at all. But if you take these steps, eventually what sounds horrifying and awful and terrible and like gut-wrenching will only be like a little bit terrible. And then eventually it will be fun. You'll meet people that you know you have a relationship with, or that you enjoy talking to, or that makes you laugh when you see them. And you'll want to keep going back. But you have to break out of that zone where you keep telling yourself, I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it. I'll be fine. I'll find something else. That happens to me all the time. And I am here to tell you that I'm putting my foot down, and I am taking these steps to build relationships, and I hope that you do too. I'll post all the resources that I've mentioned below in the description. It'll have all the links to all the things I'm talking about. And if you have any questions or any other suggestions of your own about how to meet people or connect with people or feel less isolated or get out and do something, post them below, because I would love to hear about them. This list only takes me so far, so I need all the tips.